next on Kings Are Superior Hustlers.
Yo, the check just came, man. Cash in the bill. Yeah, by the looks of it, y'all, Drake is losing a battle with UMG. I'll be reacting to why Drake label is about to end him by exposing how weird he is. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe down below as always. Let's try to get 20 likes on this video and 20 subscribers, y'all. Let's get right into it. Let's go. I believe Drake is trying to sue Kendrick Lamar only because he lost the rap battle. Now, we have seen Drake win rap battles, especially the rap battle between him and Meek Mill.
When it comes to Drake and the lawsuit he has put himself in with his label UMG, after Drake's been running around and trying to act all tough as for some reason, the yes men working with him have made him actually believe that he is in the right, UMG has finally come out and responded to Drake, and really with how they have come at him and approached this entire situation, they just gave him their own version of a track like Euphoria or Meet the Grams. Because with how they just packed Drake up and called him out for every single lie he has tried to tell and every narrative that he has tried to twist, all for his own benefit, what is clear is that the real beginning of the end for Drake is now here. And before we go any further into just how bad this all really is, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as the Drake fans are so upset over this response from Drake's label that they are trying to do everything they can to cover it up, it is...
Yeah, that they responded with UMG seems more focused on embarrassing Drake than actually addressing the fact of the case, and honestly, some of y'all are just proving how foolish you are. I believe they said Kendrick Lamar was right about the whole situation. All the things that Kendrick was saying about Drake was true.
Are trying to do everything they can to cover it up, it has never been more important to support the channel. And so with that said, when it comes to Drake and the ultimate clapback that we are seeing here, just off the premise that people are actually excited about a label calling an artist out like this, that should just put into perspective how wrong Drake is in of itself. And with the response that his label has thrown right back in his face, the ultimate message that they make sure to show with every single word in this thing is that even when the stakes are this high, Drake is the biggest liar and hypocrite there ever could be. And just like Drake was doing with quotes he was pulling out of context to try and push his claims further and further, they do the exact same thing here, as before Drake gets the written equivalent to something like Meet the Grams or Euphoria, they quote a Drake lyric from his track Successful that says, "Yeah, I want it all, that's why I strive for it, diss me, you'll never hear a reply for it." And from this moment on, things only build up from here, and Drake really has never looked worse because of it. Because really, with the people writing this thing solidifying the outcome of the Drake and Kendrick beef by saying about Drake, straight out, that one of the most successful recording artists of all time lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated, and instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to save his wounds? Yikes.
Yeah, Drake, you should have just took the L, okay? Do not go out and sue. It just don't look right. Just take the L.
Really could not put into words just how ridiculous what Drake is trying to push across is. And as with this entire response, Drake's label is really doing what Kendrick did with Euphoria by telling Drake that if he takes this any further, that is something that he doesn't want to do because it's not going to end well. Really, the people representing Drake's label do an absolutely amazing job here at telling Drake and everyone involved of why this thing shouldn't go any further by just explaining that Drake's claims are absolutely delusional in the most legitimate way possible. And they do this by showing that he is twisting the way events have happened to try and build narratives that he conveniently wants to present here. And so with this, when it comes to the conversations we've been having for so long about how Drake has just made wrong choice after wrong choice, a lot of the smaller and forgotten about moments from this beef are coming back to haunt him in the worst way. Because just like it says here, Drake encouraged the feud. For example, when he felt that Lamar was taking too long to respond, Drake released a second recording in which he goaded Lamar to continue the public rap battle. Lamar did just that, and collectively Drake and Lamar released a total of 9 tracks taking aim at each other. Multiple commentators declared Lamar to be the winner of the battle. And just by saying stuff like this, Drake is now forced to sit down and get a lesson in his own recent actions, which are all here to remind him that he knew what he was getting into with this entire situation. And
of course Drake knew what he was getting into. He just wanted to really battle, you feel me? He really wanted to battle because Kendrick and Drake been beefing for a long time, y'all. This situation didn't just come out of nowhere, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's been about what, like maybe 7 years since they've been beefing. For real, just throwing little subliminal shots at each other.
Tailor-made freestyle, which is such a pivotal part of this entire response from his label. And because of how much that track specifically is dismantling everything that Drake is trying to prove, it is more clear than ever that that song is really going to go down as one of the worst moves we have ever seen from not just Drake's career, but from any rapper in hip-hop history. Because looking back on this track, beyond the awful reception it got for how it portrayed Tupac, this song is now being presented here as the admission on Drake's end that doesn't just show how he understood what he was getting into, but that he was so overly confident about this entire situation, and because of the mentality shift that we are seeing.
Yeah, the role that Drake played during his beef was crazy. He tried to basically make it seem like, oh, Kendrick was a punk. He isn't gonna respond to me, and that just was the wrong way to go about it. Okay, he overly showed his hand at first, and that was weird. Okay, that's a weird move to go, and so of course he was gonna lose that battle. Okay, first of all, but at the end of the day, Drake is still winning. He still got money, he still got fame. You know, even though people might not support him or mess with him as much. But Drake been on top of the game for a long time, so we got to understand that, you know, it might hurt his pockets a little bit, but it ain't gonna hurt him in general. It's not like he's, you know, just coming out. Okay, he been in the game for over 20 years now, and it's okay to come from the top to you know, it's okay to fall down a little bit. Okay, just take your L, dog. You still popular, dog. Transition into something else. A lot of artists transition into podcasters or TV hosts or some shit like that. So you got time to do what you need to do.
From then to now, there is first-hand and definitive proof of how Drake is just being a sore loser, and that none of what he is saying is actually rooted in any sort of reality or any sort of care for what he is saying he is trying to stand up for. And I mean, from the misplaced overconfidence this all shows from Drake, to the way they state how Drake literally came out and told Kendrick to rap about his weird behavior that made Not Like Us the track that it became. And going even further than that, they start to state and express how the things Kendrick did say on that track have some validity to them, as to say the very least, they acknowledge how Drake has put himself within some situations that just look very strange and that nobody else would ever do. And now with Drake's label not just clapping back at him by showing that he is wrong and delusional for what he is trying to prove, but now by saying that Kendrick Lamar may have had a point with some of the things he was saying, you can really see how angry the industry is at Drake. And more than ever, how he has just lost absolutely everything that he once thought he had. Because really, due to where now Drake has taken things, the fact that the people who own his music are not even afraid one bit to now dive into his past and find out the reality of what Kendrick was saying, which overall can really ruin his reputation like we have never seen. And it's clear that if this goes on and Drake does not give up, it is really going to get bad. All in all, once again with this response, Drake's label is reminding him that he is playing a game that he cannot win, and that if anything, he can only lose like few other people have ever been able to. And so now for Drake, between this and just having to face being exposed for trying to disrespect the very essence of what hip-hop and competitive rapping stands for, Drake is just never...
Exactly, bro. If you don't want a rap battle, dog, like this is what hip-hop is built off of. Battling. You feel me? Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and many more. You feel me? Okay? It's a competitive sport. Hip-hop is a sport. So don't get in this game thinking you feel me, you just gonna be rapping just to rap and so that people can relate to you. Look at Youngboy and Dirk. You feel me? That's a different type of rap beef though, but they still battled and shit.
Never looked like he has had less of a point for what he is trying to prove, which is of course saying a lot. And even Drake's label understands what this all means for not just the industry, but for hip-hop as a whole, and how rap beef has always worked, and how Drake is just trying to present a false narrative, which they really put out to Drake and everybody else by explaining the lineage of rap beef by saying, Drake and Lamar's feud was not unique in the world of rap. Rap feuds where artists trade diss tracks insulting each other have existed pretty much since the beginning of rap. A number of storied feuds have occurred throughout rap history, and they go on to list things Drake is very aware of, like feuds between Nas and Jay-Z, Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, and even say about Drake that he is a prolific rap feud competitor for having traded diss tracks with a number of artists, including Pusha T and Meek Mill. And again, just exposing Drake's hypocrisy and making him look even worse. The songs that Drake released in those beefs are listed here and explored into depth, which once again showcase the double standard that Drake is trying to set and show how much of a victim role he is trying to manipulate everyone into believing he is here. Really, with Drake's label having to go so deep into the origin of rap beef and where this all started for Drake and Kendrick, and they even have to mention other people like J. Cole and what his role in all of this was, just being at this point where this is where a rap beef has taken us should all show us why Drake is so wrong, because even having to bring hip-hop to this stage and level is the most pathetic thing we have maybe ever seen in the history of rap music. It is really that bad. And now bringing all of this together and really delivering the worst news possible for Drake and the end of the terrible points he is trying to make people believe, the documents go on to bring history full circle and state how Drake had no issue using his label's same resources and platforms to say some absolutely awful things about Kendrick Lamar, and they go on to state just how personal and over the line everything Drake said about him on Family Matters was, by using Drake's same standards and rules that he is trying to hold Kendrick to against him, and of course he just fails because Drake really did say some truly wild things about Kendrick there. And really, even by pointing
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it didn't make sense for Drake to sue. Drake sued basically for no reason, okay? That's tough. First of all, dog, you came at Kendrick family, he came for your family. It just was in a harsher way, okay? That's it and that's all. So ain't no need to go out there and sue. You don't got to go out there and sue Drake. Just relax. Just relax, dog.
This out. When it comes to this effort to show that Drake is the biggest liar and manipulator we have ever seen, they make him look worse than ever by showing that when it comes to using the label's platforms for these big commercial records, Drake was the one who crossed the line and said all of these terrible things about Kendrick first, which really just demonstrates how Drake wants to play by his own rules, which just breaks down everything he is trying to prove, because ultimately, it's clear that he is an absolute hypocrite whose motives for this entire thing that he is trying to present being way different than what he is saying it is. And so by breaking down Drake here with an important response that is just saying what he doesn't want to hear out loud, which is that he just started and put himself within the awful place that his career is in and that he has nobody to blame but himself for this, from here it's going to be very hard for Drake to refute the actual timeline of what he has done, and inevitably, he is going to have to eventually face the main point of what his label is telling him and what they are going to ruin everything he has ever had with, which is that no matter what happened within this beef, when it comes down to what the problem is, one of the most successful recording artists of all time lost a rap battle that he provoked and which he willingly participated. And that's it. There's no bigger plot, and Drake was not wronged in any way that was unfair. And if Drake does not stand down and accept this soon, you thought the fall off we have already seen was bad. We have not even begun to see how much everything else will come down with him, and really, if Drake continues to take things further, just like we saw with Kendrick Lamar in their actual rap beef, Drake's inability to think things through and estimate his competition properly is going to ruin him in every sense of the word, and because of this, right now he is really playing a game that is way worse than anything we saw in his actual back and forth with Kendrick, because with what's going on, he is in a place where now beyond just rap music and hip-hop, because of his own failure and ability to accept this situation for what it is, every single thing that once resembled Drake and his music are going to be ruined and forgotten about, because with where we are at now, there is just no way that the industry is going to take it easy on him, which means that this is going to end absolutely horrible from here.
Well, at least he still got 21 Savage, right? At least he still got 21 Savage, right? You feel me? Him at 21. Should have just came out with a collab, but I bet 21's like, no, I ain't gonna come out with no collab with you, dog. You feel me? He said it's over with. No collabs from 21 Savage, dog. 21 Savage ain't going for that.
Because they have every single reason to show that they are in the right and he is in the wrong. And so now with all this said, let me know, what do you think about Drake's label's response to all of this and how they have just put him into his place, and what do you think is going to happen from here at this point? Because despite them calling out Drake for being a fraud, do you think this really is enough to make him stop with this entire effort once and for all? Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And
you know how y'all feel about this video. As always, kings are superior hustlers. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Stay real, stay true. It's been Cash. I'm out. Deuces.